well. My camera seriously did not want to focus there. I thought I was going to have to do this up close and personal today. So Valtteri Bottas just trolled everyone on Instagram, and yeah, sure, I'll take the bait. Kia ora, my name's Kimmy and I talk about F1 and the world's second worst accent. I'm sure most of you watching this have already seen the reel in question, but here's a low quality filmed from my laptop on my phone version because I'm considerate to those of you out of the loop and yet also sometimes incredibly lazy.
Hey Valtteri?
Yeah.
That's a Cadillac. That's a nice seat.
Oh wow, that's actually a nice seat.
It's a great seat.
I wouldn't mind.
And there's two seats.
And they're both free.
Oh yeah. Wanna sit in it?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Now, this reel of Valtteri's has kind of sent a lot of blogs into a bit of a flurry, ramping up the speculation once more after the extended silence we've had from the team itself. And I get why the narrative has been Valtteri Bottas hints at Cadillac seat. I do, I get it. I mean, here I am making a frickin' video about Cadillac again, so like, I am not immune from the propaganda. And even if this is VB doing some sincere implying and not just being his normal silly and extremely clever on social self, at least it's given us all something to talk about that's not the Red Bull seat or Fernando Alonso having lunch with the guy who's been involved in his career for the last 25 years. So what for these empty seats then? It's 6 months since Cadillac was formally accepted by F1 for a 2026 entry, and in that time there's been a few developments. Daniel Ricciardo's pretty much taken himself off the table and appears to have zero interest in getting his foot back in the door of F1. Colton Herta, the guy I thought was a shoo-in for one of the seats, looks like he's going to come up short on the super license points once again this year, which I think is yet another reminder that the FIA needs to stop undervaluing series that don't come under their purview. Little side note, Checo and Pato O'Ward's names are still being chucked about fairly liberally, despite Checo's dad doing his usual thing and just saying whatever the heck he feels like in the media and claiming his son's dunzo. And now a wild Mick Schumacher has entered the chat. Oh, and of course, Zhou Guanyu, who just happens to be managed by Cadillac's new team principal. Best not to forget that one. Honestly, I think the only thing missing from Valtteri's perfect little post was a badly edited in post sweet corn sitting on the passenger seat. Sauber 22 to 24 reunion. Make it so. And now as we approach the halfway point in the 2025 Formula One calendar, silly season really is kicking off properly. As I mentioned already, we've had the rumours that Fernando Alonso might be entertaining a fourth stint at Enstone, which if it does happen, well, it could result in Pierre Gasly suddenly being available if his vaguely worded contract extension details are anything to go by. Sure, Alpine could let go of either Franco Colapinto or Jack Doohan, but I think if Flavio lands Fernando, they'd keep Colapinto for the money and Doohan for his talent in the sim. Lawson's likely to get dropped from Racing Bulls in favour of Lindblad. George Russell still doesn't have a contract renewal because despite his words to the contrary, Toto Wolff is clearly still chucking bucket after bucket of Burley and Max Verstappen's directly, and honestly I think if something lucrative did pop up for George, then he wouldn't be averse to taking it now that he's no longer Toto's favourite child. Maybe not with Cadillac, where the reality's probably pootling around the back of the grid at least until the summer break, but the reshuffle implications could be interesting and involve a lot of contract shenanigans. I doubt Lewis would throw his hands up and chuck it in after a year on Struggle Street with Ferrari, but this is F1, so who knows? And the Norris and Piastri battle still has a lot of room for a full-on implosion that could leave a very desirable seat up for grabs. Any of these dominoes falling could open up a seat somewhere that results in a driver or two who are deep in negotiations with Cadillac pulling the plug at the last minute.
On that topic, have you spoken to Cadillac by any chance, and do you plan, I hope it's not a PR disaster with the Mercedes today, but do you think you'll try and negotiate a deal with Cadillac to get on the grid next year?
Yes.
For me to or get off the pot. This time I have to make the call. After 6 months of development and no actual movements, who are my picks for for Cadillac in 26. It's Valtteri Bottas and Zhou Guanyu. Yes, I think Cadillac is going to put to bed the pipe dream of having a US-American driver, forego a North American driver even, and instead go for the wealth of experience that Valtteri brings, along with funding that you'd expect would be relatively easy to negotiate, seeing as Graham Loder manages Zhou. And sure, the new regs for next year mean new engines, but the fact that both of them have experience driving a Ferrari power unit, and Zhou has driven previous generations of Ferrari F1 car and has experience in their sim, well, those things have to be a consideration. They are a brand new team after all. Zhou and Bottas have already shown they work together well as a team. They're a great combination on social media, and the PR buzz Cadillac would get by reuniting two teammates who had their careers cut short in the same year probably wouldn't go amiss. Although, to be fair, as much as it shouldn't influence drivers of a Formula One team, the current tenuous relationship the US has with China, well, it might come into play here. Especially considering GM's CEO, despite stating the US's automotive tariffs are likely to cost the company in the region of $4 to $5 billion, is publicly in support of Trump's policy. Well, back to the drawing board then, I guess. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to see more videos from me, make sure you click the like and the subscribe buttons. The link to my Patreon is in the video description, as well as down here on the screen. Thanks so much to my patrons. You guys are absolute legends. Ka kite. I hope to see you next time. I mean, if they really were dead set on having a US driver who already has a super license, then surely Logan Sargent would have been a serious part of the conversation by now, right?